Fifth graders, I'm Miss Mulder. I'm going to be doing a Genius Hour lesson with you guys today. In my Google Classroom, if you will see, I have got a Genius Hour prompt assignment that will go up for you, okay? So we've got all these tools that you guys know so well. Sometimes Miss Mulder gets stressed out because you lose the tools, but now you can't lose them. This is the best part. So I'm going to today look at a character faces problem and change, all right? And I'm going to open it in a new window so that I can go back to my assignment. And I'm going to open up my Genius Hour prompts assignment. It's a Google Doc, which is all on our classroom, all right? I haven't posted it yet. It's a draft, so don't worry. All right, so today is 3/19, and I'm going to be reading the Grimm sisters, all right? The Sisters Grimm. Let me fix this. All right, and before I read, I really want to take the time to think about the strategy that I'm going to be looking at. This is a fiction strategy, so I've chosen a fiction tool. Later, Google Docs, I've chosen a fiction tool. So I want to pay attention to the character when there's a problem. And I want to know what problem I'm going to focus in today on if the character acts differently before and after conflict. And if I want to describe the character in a way to show that they are complex. All right, this kind of thinking when we're noticing a character before and after conflict really puts us on alert for conflicts and really puts us on alert for describing the character in a way to show they're complex. We're synthesizing, we're synthesizing character traits and conflicts in the story. We always want to be on the lookout for that. Then we want to think about where the character encounters a problem. What was the character like before this? What was the character like after? And then we want to describe the character to show both sides, all right? This is my thinking work. I've got to get ready for my thinking work before I even read, all right? So this is what I'm going to be thinking about as I read my story, The Sisters Grimm, okay? So what I want us to do is we're going to read for 60 minutes. This is Genius Hour, okay? So we're going to be reading. I've got my book right here. We're going to be reading for 60 minutes, all right? So you're going to pause the video, and when you're done reading, remember, we're thinking about these things as we read. We're thinking about these things as we read, and I'm going to pause the video, and then I am going to show you how we're going to use our Google Doc in order to have a reading log. All right, guys, see you in 60 minutes. Okay, it should be that time. All right, let me show you how we're going to implement this strategy as we were thinking. Give yourself a little minute just to remind yourself, think about a point in the story where the character encounters a problem. What was the character like before this? What was the character like after? Describe the character to show both sides. My character, Sabrina, in this book, she is constantly in conflict. She is always having a hard time. She's always in conflict, especially at the beginning of the story. She does not want to be with her grandma. She does not trust her grandma. She's been from foster home to foster home. So I really want to reflect on that. All right. So what I'm going to do is now I've done my thinking work, and now I want to do my writing work. Okay. So you can chat with someone next to you. You can chat with your older brother. You can chat with your older sister. Just do a little chat about your character and what were they like before or what were they like after. I'll chat with you because I have no one else to chat with. So before the conflict, the conflict is these guys, Tony and Mr. Englishman, show up and kind of ask her grandma, who's her new foster parent, to stop asking questions about an event. They're being very sneaky. So Sabrina is constantly like, let's get out of here. We're not safe here. I don't like it here. Our grandma's not to be trusted. So she's constantly been really defiant against her grandma. So that's how she is before this. And how she is after. So after this, Mr. Englishman and Mr. Canis are kind of threatening her grandmother. She still wants to run, but she says like she wants to stay to help her grandma. And I want to describe her to show both sides. So while she doesn't trust her grandma, while she's still very rebellious, while she still doesn't want to be with Mr. Canis and her grandma, she wants to stay and help them because she feels bad for them. So she's not all bad and she's not all good, but she's definitely not all bad. She's showing a side to me that's interesting. She's not terrible. And she doesn't want to run away all the time, but she does want to stay to help with her grandma. Okay, all right, I'm seeing how she's complex. Watch what I do. You guys are going to love this. This is going to make your writing so much easier. I'm going to copy my prompt because this is my writing work. So I'm going to copy, and then I'm going to paste it in my prompt strategy part. Ha-ha. All right, and I'm not going to say the character. I'm going to say Sabrina because I'm at the point where I name my characters. Sabrina encounters a problem in the scene where Mr. Englishman and Tony arrive to tell her grandma to stop asking questions. Before the problem, Sabrina was not wanting to be with her grandma and Mr. Canis. And I'm going to use a character trait. I'm going to say she was rebellious. That's my character trait. Use a little sophisticated character trait. After the problem. So after the problem, Sabrina was still rebellious, but wanting to stay to help her grandma. And I'm describing the character. This shows that when the character is, this shows that when she's feeling that her family is threatened, she will act protective. I'm going to give her two character traits and brave. Cool. But when the character is all alone with her sister, and not fighting not Mr. Canis, Mr. Englishman and Tony, she will act, I'm going to say rebellious or bratty. All right, she can be a bit of a brat, my character Sabrina. Kind of like my dog Boo. All right, so I've just shown you how to apply this think work to this writing work, okay? You have here an example. I'm just going to put this in right here. Example. All right, and you have here an example of how to utilize these strategies to think about your reading. I can even make sure that I cite my text, and I can say page right here. I'm saying she's brave, and I'm gonna, whenever I'm making a claim, I wanna make sure that I'm providing text evidence. So this is on page 89, and I'm gonna give a detail to support. I know we've been doing 2 details on the state test, so I'm gonna give a detail to support this, okay? So I'm gonna say, Sabrina realized now would be a great time to grab her sister and make their escape, but it didn't feel right. The old woman and her feeble friend needed their help. So that is my evidence to support the fact that she's feeling protective and she's feeling brave. We always want to back up what we're thinking with some good, solid text evidence, and I feel like that proves my point, that all of a sudden she's being very protective of her grandmother, okay? So as you're reading, I want you to continue. Pick a strategy about before and after the conflict. Really be on the lookout for conflict. And then this is your thinking work as you're reading, and this is your writing work after you're done reading. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this video.